right, here we go in three, two.
Oh, this is sticking, eh? Well, I'll cheers to that tunes. Those tunes there. What you just heard is the exclusive This Week in Sports theme song or theme music or theme GIF. It's super short. I'm glad you listen in on such a beautiful masterpiece of tunes. On This Week in Sports, though, we have a dominating win. I mean, when it comes to the first 5 minutes in the Oilers game this past evening, Ovechkin takes third all time in goal scoring. Blue Jays with some big signings. MLB is back. We big signings there, obviously, and the biggest news, pretty much of like the last week in sports here, Tom Brady, he has returned. The GOAT is back. Doesn't even need that. Our small studio audience of, 8 or 9 people, put your hands away. No need to clap for the great Tom Brady. I was going to go into oil at first, but let's get right into it. Tom Brady. Am I surprised? Are we surprised that he came back? I'm not. I can't even say I'm that surprised. This guy's a freaking legend. He is. He's a beast. He's the best of all time. You got to put him up there in the Mount Rushmore of athletes in the history of sport.
Why? Let's get some analysis here, though. Why would he retire like 4 days ago and then come back now?
Well, it was like a month ago. It was like 4 weeks ago. Okay, it's give him some time. He had some time to think about it, and ultimately, what I think. I think he wanted to hype it up a little bit more. It makes it a little more dramatic if he announces, okay, I'm done, because he knows, and everyone kind of felt it, like he could come back if he wanted to. He was that good last season for the Bucks, second year for them. And so I think that he realized that even if I say I retire, I will always have that option to come back if I want to, and that's what he decided. And it makes for so much more news, bigger news, right? Because he's the biggest name in the game of sports, of our generation. I don't think there's anyone in our generation. It'd be him and LeBron, I think, in the big four North American sports of this particular generation. So the drama is fitting for his comeback, and shit. Would you be surprised if he won another one? Could you imagine? I could, and I could see it. I I I'd be lying if I said I was surprised. I'd be surprised if he won again, because I totally think he has it in him. I mean, why would he come back if he doesn't think he'd come back if he could win? But also, though, in other huge news in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers resigns for 2 years. I think it was like it's going to make him like the highest paid player in history. 2 years he signed. The 75-year-old Aaron Rodgers, one of my favorite quarterbacks there is in the NFL. Just love how like his candor and his interviews and such. And it's funny. Aaron Rodgers and Brady in the same week announced that they're coming back. Aaron Rodgers didn't actually officially retire, but he did resign for $150 million, 2-year contract. And I think, it was the most ever guaranteed. I think it was like 100 some guaranteed, Caleb, for Aaron Rodgers. 2 year signing. Like the dude's like 40, or you can check me on that. But he's an old man, even though I am too. So eventually, I'm gonna have to stop calling these guys old men, because I'm pushing it right now.
You reach that threshold.
That it's the threshold. It's the threshold. If you know what I'm saying, I don't want to say it out loud. I'm still 29. Okay. As as this is released, I'm still 29. Other NFL news, though. Yeah, Kirk Cousins re-signed with the or extension with the Minnesota Vikings. So there was some huge news as far as the big quarterbacks in the NFL. But may as well talk a little bit about the Oil's performance lately. We've won 3 of our first 3 here at home on our current homestand, and we we took it to Detroit this past evening. Well, depending when you're listening to this, it could be whenever. But Detroit, this past game against Detroit, we beat them 7-5, but we took it to them really, really early. First 3 minutes in, less than 3 minutes in, we were up 2 before they even had possession in our zone. It was ridiculous. And then we scored another one a couple minutes later. So we had 3 goals before they even had a shot on net. But credit to the Detroit Red Wings, they came back and played a little bit harder in the last, whatever it would be, like the last, I don't know, 11, 12 minutes of the first period. They got a couple. They made it a close game ultimately. It was tied 5-5 in the third, and we went up 6-5, and it's at the end of the day, it wasn't that good of a game defensively, and we could have sailed home if we played right defensively all the way around. We were up 3-0, just no time into the game. Like if we just chilled back and actually, played a good defensive game, there wouldn't be any issue. But I think we got a little comfortable, and I mean that happens when you're up so early. But I mean you gotta tighten up, and this is a big reason why still, even though Koskinen has had a good 3 weeks, maybe a month, he did give up 5 tonight against the Detroit Red Wings, which has always been a good team, but recently they're pretty much rebuilding. They got a bunch of kids, giving up 5 to them. So there's always, every time, it seems like every damn time Koski goes on a bit of a run, he has a game like this, and I have my fingers crossed that he doesn't have games like this. We play again Thursday against Buffalo, another weaker opponent as far as the standings is concerned. Looking to go to that game, either that game or the next game, New Jersey, on Saturday, and because I haven't gone to a game in since earlier this season. Want to check it, get some experience as far as watching it live again, because don't want to hint at anything too crazy, but I mean, if you're listening to this, you know me, and I may or may not have some opportunities as far as commentating some hockey games. Let's leave it at that. Other NHL news, though. Ovechkin passes Jaromir Jagr for 3rd all time in goal scoring, passing or becoming 3rd, just behind Wayne Gretzky and the great Gordie Howe. He has 766. There's still 23 or 24 games left. He's going to get closer and closer to Mr. Hockey, and we'll see what he ends up with. But congrats to Alexander Ovechkin. Are you hitting record?
Yeah.
So we're just picking up a conversation here. We hit pause, but we're talking about our passions. I know we're taking a pivot, but if you want to listen, listen. If you don't, I don't know even why you're listening this far. But it took me up until like my mid-20s to decide that I wanted to go back to school. That was a big step for me, because when I was in high school and grade school and all that, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like. I was so against authority. I didn't like being told what to do, when to do it, and to do this and
But
do
you were
that.
also good at school.
Well, yeah, I never went, and I was able to pass all my shit,
See, so I'm
and
so
so
bad
I
at
just
school, but weirdly, like you, I was able to just pass the classes. Is as long as I went to the classes that talked about the shit on the test,
yeah,
I remember it forever.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you decide to go back to school. That's never an option for me. I'm never gonna go back to school.
You don't want that.
Never.
Okay, well, it took me. Yeah, I didn't think. I thought the same way. I'm not saying you have to change your mind or anything. It's up. It's obviously up to you. But it took me up until like my mid 20s. I can't remember. I was like 26 or 27. That I finally decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school to do something I love. Though that was like the. I always knew that I wanted to do something I love, but I never thought about going to school for something that I loved because I didn't like school growing up. Right, I had better things to do.
Well, that's what this whole conversation is around. Is like we want you want to do what you love, so you're pursuing that, and I have a couple things that I love, and I have to figure out which one I want to do
Yeah, and
because
that's totally fine. But I'm going to tell you my process of getting to that point where I actually decided one thing I wanted to do. My first decision was to go back to school, and then it took me like a year or two to decide because I had a couple things in my mind. I knew I loved traveling, right? So
yeah,
what this entails is traveling, right? Because I've been traveling the whole time prior to that, doing this oil work. Um, and so one thing was a pilot, but then I learned that not only does it cost a lot of money, but you need a lot of hours, just like in like small aircrafts, just to get your pilot like a higher license that you can be
yeah.
a commercial pilot.
And there's that rumor that you have to have 20/20 vision. No,
No, you
but
don't.
it helps.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and also yeah, you just need a ton of hours just flying,
yeah,
and that's hard to get, right? Unless you know somebody with a plane. And then another one was a music engineer,
yeah.
and that would require that's something that I loved. I love music, not loved. I love music. I still love making music. I can spit a freestyle right here if I wanted to, and I wanted to maybe, be the engineer of music because I seen some of my buddies produce beats and whatnot, and I dabbled a little bit in that, but I thought being an engineer would expand my horizon as far as that. So that was another option. And then there was another. I think there was a third option, but if I can't think of it right now, it wasn't that important. But it might have been something in radio. Something. I think that might have been radio engineering that I was
Well,
thinking about.
yeah. I think I actually remember that a couple of years ago that you were talking about radio and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So and then I finally like after having the realization that I wanted to go back to school and I wanted to actually change what I was doing, and I always knew that I wanted to do something I loved. I was like, okay, well, I narrowed it down to at least going to school and doing something else. And I can't remember exactly when it happened when the switch flipped, but I decided I wanted to become a sports broadcaster, do sports broadcasting, very specific, because obviously I have a huge passion for sports. And yeah, it took me a while. So that's the point, Caleb. It took me a long time to decide like a specific path, and things are branching from it though. That's another point I'm making. Like other things are branching from that.
Well, for sure. I think unlike other people that really have have fallen into it or like decide they're going to go into it into that field, um, the natural talent maybe isn't always there. That's not disrespect to anybody, but when you have a natural talent for something, it instantly starts branching. People want to reach out to you. They want to like talk to you. They want to like have meetings with you and all that. And we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. Is that like anything that I'm like put my mind to and I'm passionate about? I think the same with you, Josh. Is that like I excel in it and like
Yeah, oh, for
yeah,
sure.
and I do amazing in it.
Yeah,
If I want to do it, then I'm doing it,
and
and
you're
I'm
doing
doing
it.
great at
Why
it.
why why half-ass it?
Yeah, exactly. And
Why fuck around? If you want to do it, then you do it, and you do it to the fullest ability. What like my shit? The last 10 years. I mean, I've been in this job that is provided me with a lot of opportunities as far as traveling, but I
Yeah,
never had a passion for it, so I never went and did it and
exactly.
did it and did it. Like just went
Well,
into it.
well, here's the thing though. The field that I was in, as hard as it was, and as like straining and emotionally straining as it was, because I work with people, I had a passion for it, and I was able to go into meetings and make moves and work my way up. I don't have any education whatsoever.
Yeah,
Like
this guy barely made it out of like grade 3. This guy's a dummy.
I actually don't have a high school diploma. But
Neither
but
do I.
but on top of that, I go into meetings. I make moves. My last job, the first week I was there, I became a manager,
Yeah,
the equivalent to the shift lead.
yeah.
And then the first month I was there, I became like a manager of managers. Basically, was the equivalent.
I know you moved up real quick, man. It's
Yeah,
good.
because I was
Yeah,
passionate about it. I loved it. I
boom,
knew how to talk about
boom.
it, and I could do that work for the rest of my life, if it wasn't for the fact that it's exhausting. Not only physically. There's more physically exhausting jobs for
It's
sure.
it's
There
it's
is,
stressful.
but it's because I work with people.
Yeah, it's stressful.
It's
So
stressful, and it's like I work with vulnerable people, so it's very hard on your mind and your heart.
yeah, if we're gonna get into it, then
So it encapsulates your whole life.
exactly in a way that it might even shorten your life because it stresses you out
Yeah.
more so than maybe something else.
But on top of that, I have a passion obviously for like filmmaking, that I'm trying to like express a little bit through this, even though there's no visual.
No,
But
we'll
also
get
I
there.
have a passion for drawing
Yeah.
and like coloring, which I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I really like it. I really
The
like the
dude's
result.
good. The dude's good.
I really like the result of what I come out with.
Yeah,
And then on top of that,
100%, bro.
I've done some tattooing,
Yeah,
and all of that stuff is fulfilling to me. But it would be a very big thing. I would have to walk away from the other side of myself, which is like helping people and doing that job in order to fully commit to that
no,
stuff.
you still help people though by drawing. You can do art, which helps people in other ways. You could tattoo people, which helps people in a lot
That's
of
true,
ways.
yeah.
And if you want to get into filmmaking, that helps a lot of people. Not in the ways that maybe you do firsthand with them,
Yeah.
but in another way. It,
Well,
it,
my,
it, does, it does
my
give it does give
idea,
people joy, and that does help
for
people.
sure, and my idea of filmmaking has always been attached to shedding light on people that need more help and people that need a light shine on them in society. So yeah, I don't know. There's this hard thing, especially when you realize in your late 20s, which Josh was touching on, that when you're late your 20s, you're like, okay,
Time to do something.
yeah, here it is. Life has started. You can't pretend that you're in your early 20s anymore trying to figure stuff out. No, you got to do something. Yeah, and I'm so proud of Josh
Mhm.
that he found the thing that he wants to do,
Thank you.
and he's fucking killing it, man. You're fucking killing it. I know he doesn't want to talk about the podcast a bunch of this, but he's making moves. He's having meetings. He's meeting people, dude. Dude, I'm so inspired by this guy. I'm like, I want to go and make moves and meet people and do what I want to do.
Yeah, what it comes down to is finding that passion and what drives you to make these moves. You made these moves in other fields, but what it comes down to is what you want to. Like I said earlier, what you see yourself doing. 5, 10,
Yeah,
15, when you're 50, when you're looking back on your shit.
there's nothing wrong with you doing your job, the job that you had before this,
There isn't.
for the rest of your life, and you make money and you do well,
I did.
and people like that inside you are needed. The same thing with me when I was a painter or I was working with people. There's nothing wrong with doing that forever.
There isn't.
But if you ever have that itch where you want to do more and you want the life, not even the life, but you want to have the fulfillment that you thought you were when you were a kid, you know,
I don't know. I wanted to be a hockey player when I was a kid, so it's not,
yeah,
it's
well,
not quite there.
yeah. But like, you know, we're still young, and you're going after it, bro. And like, I'm so stoked for you, dude.
I appreciate that, dude.
And it makes me want to go after it.
I'm glad we're not videoing this shit here.
Anyways, that was our little 10-minute tangent. If you stuck through that, we appreciate you. And
if you haven't, fuck you.
Yeah, if you haven't, fucking unsubscribe. Take off those notifications. Hit unlike.
Hit unlike on the videos that you hit like. Hit unsubscribe on the videos you hit subscribe. I don't know if that's.
I'll probably record a little intro so it's not so awkward between the transition. But
that's fine. Yeah. Because you went off there a little bit.
Yeah. All right, Josh.
I don't even know where we were. I think we were talking.
We just finished Oilers.
Okay, yeah. Blue Jays signed a couple big arms, huge arms. One of which is the starter Kikuchi. I don't even want to butcher his first name because I wrote it down, and it's you say, but I just didn't want to butcher it too badly because my writing is so shit. Anyways, huge arm, 3-year deal, starting pitcher. Our starting staff, our 5, is the most stacked in the AL East, one of the most stacks in the American League, and probably top 5 in the whole MLB. Analysts are saying this Blue Jays are the team to beat this year. We also signed left-handed pitcher Vasquez to a 1-year deal. He's a bullpen arm, 2 lefties. We're in talks with Freddie Freeman, Schwarber, and Ramirez from the formerly known Indians, now Guardians. There's some big moves on the forefront for the Jays. We already have a stacked team as it is. If we add at least one of those other guys that I just named outside of the pitchers, then we are most definitely going to be the team to beat in the entire league. So, good news for us. And some bad news for us, but good news for me. The Yankees acquire my boy JD, Josh Donaldson.
Damn.
Yeah, he's still going via trade with the Twins. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of him.
Yeah, it's a good team.
In a Yankees jersey, though. I might actually have to go get that jersey of JD.
How long is he with us?
He was only with us for a few years, like 3 years. But
he was our star.
He was our star. He won an MVP with us, bro, and brought us to the second round.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, no, I love JD, and I always will. And yeah, no, the fact that MLB's back, I probably should have started with that before I went into the Blue Jays news. But yeah, agreement between the owners and the Players Association of MLB. I like how I'm working backwards, but if we had more time or if we cared more, we'd probably fucking edit that. But who cares a fuck? NBA news. Raptors took it to the Lakers last night, or 2 nights ago, or 3 nights ago, or 100 nights ago. I think we won by, it was 113-104. But at one point, first quarter, it started off 21-2. We took it to the Lakers. LeBron was pissed. I think in the third quarter, it was he was going out of bounds. He grabbed the ball, and Scotty Barnes kind of hit the floor right next to him. And LeBron, in childish manner, threw the fucking basketball right at Scotty Barnes on the floor. Oh, refs didn't even blink an eye. They just gave the Lakers the ball, and they continued to play. So, I don't know. I haven't seen too many unsportsmanlike things like that from LeBron. Obviously, people get heated, and obviously the NBA doesn't show all the minor little things of that. Like, there wasn't any talk of that in the States last night. Obviously, they're playing the Canadian team. Why talk about that? But I didn't hear any or see anything from the major sports outlets from the States indicating that that was really an issue. It was fucked up. He threw it like right on him while he was on the ground. LeBron doesn't usually do that. He's not one of those players. I understand he was pissed, but you don't do that shit. The fact that the referees didn't even, I don't know, the NBA referees are a fucking joke. Raptors are still in it. They're on a hot streak. We'll be talking more and more of them coming up. Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah. They're seventh right now.
How deep are we into the season?
Just as pretty much as deep as the NHL season. They kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's coming down to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we talk, dude, this is one of my favorite times of the year when it's almost coming up on a year that we started recording this shit. I can't remember when we started.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it was. Yeah. It was in the summer.
It was in the summer. Yeah. It was. So this will be our first like spring on the podcast, and I'm super excited for that because NHL goes into the playoffs, NBA goes into the playoffs, and MLB starts up. It's next to October. This is my favorite time of year.
Yeah, well, I mean, we started when we knew the Blue Jays were in the playoffs.
No, we started before that, bro.
No, because it was all surrounded by you potentially going to Toronto.
Oh no, dude, we started when it was Montreal going to the finals.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it was Montreal. I was going to go to Montreal first.
Right.
Yeah, for the Stanley Cup Finals. But that didn't happen, so we pivoted. So that was in May or something.
Right.
We'll look back on it. But it's coming up on a year, and the fact that I appreciate you for helping me do this, and without this, like I don't think any of this other shit would have happened. Like as far as meeting these other people and making these moves, this has helped a lot. And
well, it needed to happen.
It needed to happen.
Yeah,
it totally did. I don't have a this week in sports history on the docket, but what I will do is I will throw an RIP and I love you to what he did for WWE to Razor Ramon. That's my Twitch this week. Razor Ramon. This week in sports history, he passes away.
Mad respect.
Other WWE news though, I was saving it for you though, Caleb. It's big news. We got to make this happen. We got to.
All right, tell me about it.
You might have heard it. Oh, you say you didn't hear any WWE news, but I tell you this: you better not. You better act surprised even if you did hear it.
I probably didn't.
Okay. Stone Cold Steve Austin's coming back for one match at WrestleMania.
No way.
In a couple weeks. Way. Yeah.
Against who?
Oh, I don't even know the other guy that does the stunner. There's a guy that does the stunner.
Wait, what? Why?
Because Stone Cold retired for like 19 years.
So people are just allowed to do his moves?
I don't know. I can't even remember his name. He's one of the new wrestlers.
Damn. I mean, I guess if you are, I don't know, whatever. If you're doing it and you claimed it and he hasn't been back for a while.
I got to look it up then. I can't leave it on
damn.
This. So Stone Cold's coming back for WrestleMania. So we got to go watch WrestleMania somewhere.
Well, you better have his fucking beers.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's what yeah, obviously. Are you fucking nuts, bro? That's his thing. Stone Cold WrestleMania. Look this shit up. I think it's Kevin Owens. I think he's wrestling.
Damn.
WrestleMania. Oh, they made it a thing? No. Kevin Owens, yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Well, that's going to be exciting.
Dude, I had to bring that up on the show. We don't talk too much wrestling, but I was a huge wrestling fan. Stone Cold was one of my favorites. The Rock and his rivalry was, I would say, the best rivalry in all of sports entertainment. The fact that Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming back for one more match here at the upcoming WrestleMania, I'm watching that shit. And on that note, thank you for listening to This Week in Sports. Adios.